Hey guys, it's DukeOnRed1 and welcome to a special video. For the past 2 months, I have been working on this Mesonouk Manor on the 1.19.2 Kingdoms of Hunterra server. Survival, no less. I gotta say, I really like how this project turned out. One thing to keep in mind, guys, is this project is actually built using the vanilla Conquest Resource Pack. There is no modded material here. All sides of this build are fairly unique. I made sure, and my goal, honestly, was to combine both the natural and architectural elements to seamlessly come together in this manner. So clearly, one thing that you guys can see with this project is I have absolutely crammed every single space that is possible with detail. And that is the quality of the Conquest Resource Pack, is there is just so much potential. So what we'll do now is I'll go ahead and explain what the process was in building this project. Oh boy, where's that pesky skelly? There he is, hiding over there. There we go. So, anywho's, this here is the only entrance into the manor. It is actually a road built as a route that leads from one side of the crevasse to the other. All the way around the outside of the manor is a crevasse, not only as a defensive measure, but also to kind of restrict my building area, so that way I don't end up making this massive, overly sized project as, well, I'm known for. So coming over the bridge here, directly to our right is the Mesonouk Chapel. Clearly, you can see it is very colorful, and we are going to find throughout the build, it is a very fantastical palette throughout. Here in the chapel, we worship the bone. It's probably better just not to ask, but anywho's, you can clearly see how Conquest just allows for such neat detailing. Like, for example, the 3D model for the gold pressure plate. And of course the helmets that you're gonna see throughout the build. So all the way around Mesonouk Manor are 2 rings of paths. The bottom one, which is what we're on now, goes all the way around the base and has multiple entrances into the manor. Then there's the top one, which we will see later, and that is closer to the trunk of the main tree. So currently we are on the southwestern side of the manor, and this here is the stables. And this is a balcony that extends all the way around on the outside. I really like how this turned out. It adds just a really neat architectural feature, because again, my intention was to try to combine both architectural and natural elements to make for a ideal result, which is what we ended up with for Mesonouk Manor. And honestly, I think it's kind of unique in that regard, because usually it's either very structural or it's very natural, and I think that with this project we definitely got a good combination. So one thing I would like to mention are these quote-unquote Dukonian trees, which are kind of an umbrella shaped type of birch tree that has glowberries. Now, it's not technically unique or anything, it's just something that I came up with on my previous account. Back before I came back as Dukon, we had a survival playthrough, and I built a few of these around. And I really wanted to build a few of them here on this project, and so my solution was to build them at the end of their roots coming from the main tree. So we'll see roots like this around, and we'll see that quite a few more of these. There's actually, I think, 5 or 6 of them surrounding the build, and I really like how they turned out. Very happy with that, and plus the atmosphere they provide from the overall scheme of the build just really works. So again, we're on the lower path, and this here is one of the details that is on this path, and it is a writing nook. So coming down this way, we lead over to the gazebo, and this here is a little bell. Why can't I ding dong the bell? There we go. Ding dong. But if we come in here, this here is the gazebo, and as you guys can see, has a really nice view all the way around Mesonouk, and I really like the positioning of this, and plus, I really like the overall look of it. Honestly, it reminds me of kind of like an elvish type of build. The gazebo and that structure right there, they both have that sort of influence to them, and honestly, I really like that. So now coming up these stairs here, we come to another porch, which is actually, again, another really nice view, if it was rendered in, but the ocean is actually right out there. As you can see, there's just a little bit you can see there, but that is all ocean out there. And you can just imagine sitting here and just enjoying that ocean breeze. Again, another one of those quote-unquote Duconian birch trees here. And each one of them actually has a bee's nest in it. And another really neat detail of Conquest is the bees are actually like butterflies and ladybugs. Again, a really nice, colorful detail. Here's another one of those little nooks that you can sit at. Again, you get a nice view of the ocean down there, and the amethyst adds a really nice burst of color. So the overall detailing scheme of the nature around Mesonouk is like ferns, rose bushes, mangrove roots, these mushrooms. Honestly, probably a little overkill on the mushrooms, but that's all right. Lots of bamboo, wheat, and just things of that nature, some moss, etc. And then to light up, I have actually jack-o'-lanterns throughout. I take a jack-o'-lantern and then I put some moss over top of it, and it makes for a really nice lighting, natural lighting for the nature parts of the manor. And of course, drip leaves. You can't forget those. Those actually add in a really nice detail, I think. So over here on the north side is actually a pergola. Again, another really nice spot where you can just kind of sit and relax. Here, let me sit there. There we go. Sit and relax and enjoy the view. So then just up from that pergola is actually the balcony to Fila's bedroom. Well, that's her study in here, but we'll be checking that out later. And flashbang. All right, there we go. All better now. That's shaders for you. I'm using Chocopic Ultra, and unfortunately, when you transition between inside and outside, it gets all bright like that. So anyways, up here there's actually another little spot to sit. You can sit there and just enjoy the scenery, and then just random little amethyst right there for some color. Coming back up here, we now are at the entrance to Mesonouk Manor. So this was actually the first part of Mesonouk Manor that I actually began experimenting structurally. And so the stylization was really quite kind of mashed together. I didn't quite know what I wanted to go for at first, but eventually I decided I wanted to go heavy acacia with the dark oak. And then, you know, there's some little extra details in there like the iron bars and whatnot, but overall I really like how it turned out. So with that said, let's actually start exploring the interior because there is a lot to see. So the first room that we enter into is the dining room of Mesonouk, and this is actually positioned right at the base of the main tree. Now, again, going back to what we were talking about the chapel, I wanted the interiors to be fantastical. I wanted to add as much color and detailing as I possibly could, and I would say that that goal has been achieved pretty well. And over here we have the living room. We got 2 couches, a fireplace, and of course some more of those 3D helmets and a shield, which we're going to be seeing a lot of those later on. Basically, you take shields and rename them in an anvil, and you're able to make some awesome stuff. Same thing with carved pumpkins, which give you the helmets. So coming back out of the living room, directly across and next to the fireplace is a coat closet. Using those stacked crafting tables gives us these wardrobe connected textures. So really like how Conquest allows for that. So then, of course, you're going to need a kitchen in order to cook the food that you would eat. And so here is the Mesonouk kitchen. So they got a large oven, they got a little baker's oven over here, smoker on top, etc. Over here, got some counter space, some bread, big windows that face the rising sun, so it's going to be pretty bright in here. Got some plates, those are renamed paintings, again, using that renameable options that you have in the anvil. Spore Blossom adds a nice little atmosphere in here, and then over here is where all the recipes are kept for those delicious dishes. Moving on from there, we now lead into Fila's personal apartment. This is where the wizard or the owner of Mesonouk lives. So, this here is her study. As you can see, there are a lot of books in here, and then there are customized heads that you're able to use in Conquest, and you can access those through vote coins on the server. So that's what that is, and a lightning rod underneath. So I really like how this room turned out, especially at sunrise. You get that the sunbeams coming in through the window there. Leading down into here, this is her bedroom, and well, she is very well protected with all those shields around her bed, and then a scary samurai helmet up there. So she has a wardrobe, a fireplace, a vanity to get her makeup on and whatnot, a little place to store some books, and then coming over here is her bathroom. She has a large mirror, a very costly mirror, might I add, a bathtub, and then, of course, a toilet to do what needs to be done. So then coming back up the stairs, there are two ways to get outside. This here is that first patio that I had shown you guys earlier, overlooking the ocean down there. And then if we come back inside here, and we lead all the way over to the other side of the house, it comes to this other balcony that overlooks the northern side of Mesonouk. Coming back into the dining room, it then leads up this stairs, which goes all the way up to Anouk's room, who is Fila's daughter. This overlooks the stairs going down. But as you can see, all throughout the trunk of the tree, there is a spiral, well-ish stairway that leads all the way to the top. And this is what I call the kind of the penthouse. It's actually really cramped up here, and there is no bathroom, but this is where I determined where Anouk would live, and it's very colorful, and I really like how this turned out. In addition, it also has access to the upper path, so there are two rings of paths, and this one is the upper path, and this one you can actually really see how those jack-o'-lanterns are a good light source at nighttime, and also we get up close and personal to the underneath of the tree. And as you can see, all of the branches are fully packed with details, with roots and jungle buttons and spruce fence pieces. Everything that you can think of in terms of nature, I have tried to add in up here, and this path leads all the way around. There are a few little shrines around. This one is one to, like, the Crusaders, I guess. I don't know. But that's actually, well, technically my emblem because, well, that's been my skin for ever since I've had my channel. Coming back up this way, it then leads us over here, which is another shrine type thing using those amethysts to just bring in a really neat color. Also, going up the tree is this like crystal thing. As you can see, that is the penthouse up top there, built into the very top of the tree. And then there's also a really good view of it from down here, looking up. As you can see, that is the penthouse up there. So now back down to the dining room for reference. We're gonna head back out the front entrance and we're gonna head over to the stables, which is technically the second structure of Mesonouk Manor, first being the chapel. If you guys remember, coming up the path, we lead right up here, and then this is the first entrance that you see. And in here, we got a couple horses, we got a place to store some hay, and then a little, like, shelving unit over here for all the different things, like, I guess, saddles and tools to shod the horses and whatnot. Coming down this way will lead to the groundskeeper's room, which is technically also the guy that would take care of the horses, but his job also is the unfortunate job of taking care of all of the plants around Mesonouk Manor, and this is where he lives. He has a bed up here and a little dining room and whatnot in here. So I really like how this room turned out, especially how it sort of slants down towards the back here. I think that turned out great. Coming back outside, we're gonna come back, well, there's actually 3 ways to go from here. You can either go down, which is technically where we're gonna go anyways, but I'll show you guys in a second where all this leads. So if we come back in the dining room, this leads this way. If we go left, that leads us out to yet another balcony. You can kind of sit here and enjoy the sunrise, and also, if it was rendered in, the ocean down there, which looks really nice. Coming down here, there's like a little shrine, and then when the sun reaches its zenith, it shines a light down through here, and it looks really nice. So there's like a little shrine right there, a root from the tree growing over, and then this comes down. This actually leads back into the stables area over there. But this leads down to the Undercroft of Mesonouk Manor, which I am excited to show you guys. And then this right here leads right back up to the front entrance. So it's really quite a maze down here, but trust me, you guys haven't seen anything yet. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the Great Pool. Down here, I wanted as much color as I could possibly fit in this area. Underwater, it's full of coral. I used to have a whole bunch of fish, but unfortunately, somehow they all died. I think I have 1 left in here, but we got some amethyst on the end of the cave there, and of course, the balcony going all the way around. And then look at that ceiling. We got dripstone, roots, those leaves, and just an abundance of different details that really brings this all to life. So now we're gonna head back up this way, and the first thing we're gonna go check out is what I call the wood room. I have to separate the room somehow, but in here we got a pool with an axolotl in it. As you can see, we use a lot of that dripstone there, and then a window that looks to the west of Mesonouk. It's actually in the cliffside there, and then coming down into here is the quote-unquote wood room, where well, obviously it's full of wood, and I really like how this room turned out. It is less colorful than the other rooms for sure, but I do like how comfy and cozy it feels in here. A window to bring in some natural light, and then a little bit of color here and there, and then a nice little bathtub to stay toasty warm on a cold night. And of course, a wardrobe. Can't forget that. Leading back up this way, we are now going to go right, and this is going to lead us down to the storage room. Gotta have some storage, and obviously they got a lot of alcohol down here. You got meads and beers and whatever else is needed, and then some miscellaneous storage items that are kind of put away right there. And throughout this manor, we're gonna find a bunch of little like chests and random crates and things all around, and I really like how that turned out. The next thing that we're going to go check out is the bat cave. But in here is where, well, obviously, Guess and Fila herself can come down and take a nice warm bath. The room would be heated by this fireplace over here, which, by the way, doesn't have a chimney. Moving on, we're gonna go check out over on this side, and I have a lot of these little windows here because I figured that natural lighting would be a really cool addition to an underground environment. So I really like how that natural lighting just kind of seeps into here and just brings all of this to life. And I really like this. I wanted a Roman style bath down here, and I think that objective was achieved quite well. Leading over here, of course, we're gonna need a bathroom, and so we got a toilet right there, and a mirror, whatever would be used for, I guess, to look at yourself before you head back to the bath or something. But anyways, that's what that's for. And then coming back up this way, we're gonna lead to the main junction. Well, this pool is technically like the junction cave because this is the only way to lead back up into the dining room and the main house, which is up above and also outside. So now, instead of going left, we're gonna go right, and this is gonna lead down this way. And if you go down this tunnel here, that'll lead you right back to the down to the bath cave. And then this is actually what I call the blue room. I'm sure you can all imagine why I would call it the blue room. But we got a little armor stand at the window there, and a lot of different textures and just random colors all spewed around there. The bed is, you got the signs, and you got the birch fences or fence gates there. So I really like how this room turned out. Got a fireplace to keep things warm, and then this room has its own bathroom. You got a bathtub there and a toilet there in the corner. So I really like the blue room. This turned out great. So back to the main cave, and now we're gonna go this way, and this is where the chef of Mesonouk Manor lives. The kitchen is right above us. If we come back outside here, you can actually walk around the build on the lower path. But coming inside here, he has a fireplace and all kinds of just random things. He has a wardrobe there and, of course, his bed. So I really like how this room turned out. This actually really works out, in my opinion. So heading down this way, which is actually heading down the east side of this room, we're going to head down and see a few rooms. Down this hallway, you can go right into the washroom or left into the servants' quarters or overflow guest quarters. And down here is where the well is. This is where they can draw some fresh water. And then, of course, a bunch of like tables and things where they can wash clothes and some tools and things that they could use for whatever purposes they need them for. Here is the bathroom for the overflow room. And then if we come down here, this is where there are just three bunk beds where 6 people can sleep if that overflow space would be needed. And a table up here where they could eat and drink and relax. And then, of course, their own fireplace, which again, doesn't have a chimney to it. Sorry. So now we're going to head back up here and we're going to go left, which is going to lead us down to the wine cellar. Now, this is actually one of my favorite rooms. Now, emerald on this server is extremely hard to come by, and it's also very expensive because it's one of the only ways to get mending. The functionality of this server makes it very difficult to get emerald and mending books. And so anyways, I wasn't able to accrue enough to finish the wine cellar, but you guys kind of get the idea of how this would look if it were all finished. So you'd have emerald there and emerald there, and then that would be a full wine cellar. But you know, that's okay. I think that this turned out pretty good. I'm really happy with it. And then here we are back at the junction. If we go that way, that leads us to the pool. But if we go this way, it leads us down to the orange room, which is honestly my favorite room of the whole build. In here, we got a toilet. And then if we go this way, this here is the orange room. And as you can see, it is, well, pretty darn orange in here. But here we use the lecterns for the headboard, the purple bed, got a wardrobe there, and a little, I guess, a place where someone can write and just kind of chill out there. And then a bathtub over the window, which looks out towards the ocean. Nice view. I just really like how this room turned out. I love it. I love it. Also, throughout the cave, there are these like geodes around. Here's another one here, again with that amethyst in the back, and it's just like overgrown in the front there. Another one here, another one here, and another one here. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I put a lot of work into this. 2 months of building nature and, well, interiors. But yeah, I really enjoyed this build. Mesonouk was a lot of fun, and I look forward to doing some more builds in the future. I always come back to survival, so I do look forward to coming back someday and building something else. Now, as an honorable mention, I wanted to show you guys this. This is Frar's mansion that he's been building just to the south of Mesonouk, and might I say, it is looking absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to finish it because the server is in fact resetting in about a week. I wanted to make sure that this build got the recognition that it deserves. Frar has put a lot of work into it. He's been on the server about as long as I have, so congratulations, Frar, on what you were able to do. The copper roof, it just looks amazing. I can't imagine how long it took for him to get all of that copper. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and please leave a comment. I look forward to making some more in the future. Till then, bye-bye.